La Ruda, or the Rue, is mentioned in the Bible. I think it is Luke 11:42, and don't quote me because I don't have the Bible on me at this moment, but it says something to the effects of, "Woe to you, Pharaohs, you hypocrites, for you give a tenth of your mints and your rue to God, but you fail to give a tenth of that love and justice to God." And today we're going to be talking about La Ruda, the Rue. So I want to show you in this video right here. This is a baby Ruda, or it's not a baby, it's just growing. She was dormant during the winter. She's starting to sprout out, but this is in Spanish what we call a Ruda hembra. Hembra means in English would be like a female Ruda. And now I'm going to show you over here. We call this one Ruda macho. Ruda macho means male Rue. So this is the male Rue, La Ruda macho. And this is La Ruda hembra. I'm going to go back a little bit, and you can see they're starting to sprout out. So many people are going to ask me how to distinguish between La Ruda macho and the Ruda hembra. And I'm going to do that in a second. I'm going to wait till this grows a little bit. And a lot of people also going to see that my Ruda needs to be trimmed, pruned. Okay, you can see right here needs to be pruned, and right here. Pruning your herbs allows it to grow more. You can see this one over here also needs to be pruned. But right now we're in the wrong moon phase for pruning herbs. It is right now, during the time of me recording this video, it is May 2nd, May 3rd, and the moon is in its first quarter waxing, which is not a good time to trim your herbs. I'm going to show you where I need to trim or prune them. But right now we're in May 2nd, May 3rd, and the moon is in its first quarter waxing, and that is not a good time to prune your herbs. So right now you can see it's noonday. The sun is right ahead of me. This is my Ruda hembra, or my female Ruda. And before I trim my plants, we should know the phases of the moon. There are 8 general phases of the moon. We have new moon, which in Spanish is luna nueva. We have a waxing crescent, first quarter, which is what we're in right now. We have new gibbous, full moon, old gibbous, last quarter, and a waning crescent. But when it comes to plants, we're going to focus mostly on waxing, which is creciente, full moon, which is luna llena, and waning, which is menguante. So waxing is creciente in Spanish, and waning is menguante in Spanish. Full moon is luna llena, and new moon is luna nueva. You can see it's getting harder for me to record the video because the sun is right above me. Here's my Ruda macho, and as you can see, it is around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and a lot of people are going to say, well, it looks kind of a little dry here, brujo. Well, you know, the best time to water your plants is in the morning. The very best time would be around 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. When, you know, the weather's still cool. that is a good time to water it. If you can't water your plants in the morning, the second best time to water your plants would be in the evening when the sun starts settling, so around 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So you want to water your herbs or all your plants in your garden in the morning, 5 to 6 a.m. And if you can't do it in the morning, you never do it during the afternoon. That's not a good time. But you want to do it early in the morning, 5 to 6 a.m. And in the evening when the sun starts settling at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And this is my Ruda macho. Here's my Ruda. It is 6 o'clock. Around 6:30, the sun is starting to set, and you can see I watered down, the Ruda. Now we're in the first quarter, and you can see my Rudas need to be pruned. I'll show you, they need to be pruned right there and right there. But we're still in the first quarter, and I don't generally. Well, actually, you should never prune your herbs on the first quarter. You should wait until the night of the full moon or up to a week after the full moon. As the moon begins to wane, the energy is drawing down and the gravitation pull is higher, which creates more moisture within the soil. So the moon begins to wane, or the moonlight is decreasing, it puts more energy into the roots. I prune my herbs, all my herbs, not just my Ruda, but I prune all my herbs on the night of the full moon or a week afterwards until the last quarter. The night of the last quarter, this is when I should have all my herbs pruned. Okay, that is the Ruda macho, and this is the Ruda hembra. The night of the new moon, no moon, or luna nueva, that's the night when you don't see the moon in the sky. There's no moon visible in the sky. This is a time of resting. I don't plant herbs, I don't prune herbs. I water them, but I don't plant herbs and I don't prune my herbs during that time period. So here are my Rudas. This is La Ruda hembra, and over here is La Ruda macho. This is just a flower my daughter planted there when we moved in. What I'm talking about is what Latinos have always done. And you can also read about this in the Farmer's, the Farmer's Almanac. Okay, if you like to plant herbs, I recommend you read the Farmer's Almanac. But I want to show you a little rhyme for me that I always remember. And when it's, waning, waxing and waning. Waxing in Spanish is creciente, to grow. Waning is menguante, to get smaller, to wane off, to remove. So I always remember that movie, The Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio and Mr. Miyagi. And Mr. Miyagi taught Ralph Macchio, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Well, I like to remember wax on, wane off, wax on, wane off, wax on, to grow, wane off, to grow smaller or to remove. Wax on, to grow, the moon is growing, wane off, menguante, the moon is getting smaller. So a neighbor of mine was moving actually on the night of the full moon, and he gave me these Rudas. So here's my original Ruda, and here's just more Ruda that he gave me. And of course I quickly took on to the Ruda. So right now the full moon was 3 days ago. We are on waning gibbous. So you want to trim down your plants or your herbs during the night of the full moon or a week after, and you want to make sure you do it before the last quarter, which is usually a week after the full moon. So right here, this is going to get trimmed right there, and you want to trim at an angle. I'm going to trim this right here going to trim this at an angle. See all this right here that's hanging? I'm going to trim this. I'm not going to throw none of this away. I'm going to use all these herbs for my alcolado rubs. Puerto Ricans, we love our alcolado rubs. Right there, that's good. So I'm just going to trim that right here at an angle. Let me show you the other side. What else am I going to trim? Let's see the other side. Okay, and right here, I'm going to trim these guys right here. I'm not going to get rid of none of these. These are all I'm going to use. Probably give it a little shaving right here and trim all that. But remember, you want to trim your herbs. Am I using the right word? Trim? Called pruning. I'm going to prune my herbs. And you want to prune your herbs early in the spring. We're still in May. So I'm going to prune right here. I'm going to prune this area right here. I'm going to save all this for my alcolados, my bay rum. I'm going to prune just around here, but it's called pruning. You want to prune during the night of the full moon, a week after, when the moon is waning, gibbous, and you don't want to prune your herbs during the last quarter or during the night of a new moon. That is a resting period. So I'm going to prune these guys and see how they come out. They'll come out nice. I'll be back in mid-June or July. You want to prune your herbs. See this dry part? I don't want that. You want to prune it where it's green, and you want to get it at an angle. I'm going to prune this area right here, and I'm going to prune right here. I'm going to try, and always at an angle. So give it a nice clip. Over here, see that green right here? And then that brown, I'm going to clip that off, and always at an angle. This will promote more growth of your herbs. These I'm going to save. Let me see the other section. You want to get where it's brown and green. Looks good. Let me check out the other section. Actually, this one just needs a trim with scissors, but I'm just going to give it a little. It's not that bad, but I'm going to take this guy off right here just a little bit at an angle. Always prune your herbs at an angle. And there you go. Now I'm going to, with the scissors, cut these areas, and I'm going to use this. This will promote for the plant to grow bigger. Right here also. See this one right here? See that little brown area? So you want to get it. Let's make sure I get it. So you see that? See how it's green right here and it turns brown? You go at an angle and you prune it off. This will promote more growth of the Ruda, of your herbs anyways. And you want to do it as early on in spring as possible. So here is another Ruda. See right here? I'm going to trim this area right here. You can see I'm collecting them. So I'm going to trim right around this area. They got to make these for left-handed people. I'm a lefty. So I want to cut that. And I want to cut this guy right here. And I'm saving them in my gourd because I'm going to use them and get all these parts right here. This will promote more growth right here. I'm going to give it an angle. Okay. And here they are, my gourd for my alcolados right here, right here. See this right here? This needs to go. This will promote more growth. And into my gourd, because I'm going to use all that for my bay rum. So now I'm going to show you what the seeds look like. Well, what the flower still is not out. Well, it's coming out. This is some of the flower from the Ruta. And when this dries out, the seeds come out through here. This is the flower. And here's another flower. And this Ruta is growing pretty good, pretty well, pretty big. But this is the flower where the seeds come out for the Ruda. La Ruda is ruled by the planet Mars, and it is ruled by the sun. So it is a masculine herb, okay? And it is an herb of protection. It wards off the evil eye. So many times Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and South Americans will plant a Ruda by the entranceway of the house, as always by the entrance, by the door, as La Ruda protects against the evil eye. It wards off the evil eye. It protects. It's a very protective herb. It is said that pregnant women shouldn't handle La Ruda. Okay, so. But many people use the Ruda in baths. A lot of people don't like or don't enjoy the pungent. It has a pungent aroma that when you rub it on your fingers, you can smell it on your fingers, and it has this really pungent aroma. Sometimes when the Ruda is fully grown, the leaves will turn a nice bluish tint. And if you look at the flowers, you see this little thing. I'm trying to get it, so it's right there. That is where the seeds are. It's got this really pungent, musky scent to it that a lot of people don't enjoy, but it is used, like I said, for protection, for warding off the evil eye, for removing black magic. So often it is placed by the entranceway of a doorway, or by springs of it are placed by the thresholds of the door. Right there, that is the pod where the seeds grow of the Ruda. So anyways, this is Sancista Brujo Luis, and this is the video on La Ruda. You can tell a Hispanic brujo is nearby when you see a Ruda growing by the entranceway of the house. This is Sancista Brujo Luis. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like, please subscribe, and please leave a comment down below. I'm going to try to get so you can see the pod right there. That is where the seeds are. Usually the seeds, we pick them when it's completely dried. See right there? When it's completely dried, that is when you know it is good to pick this out from the plant, and you can save the seeds to plant more Ruda, more plants of Ruda. Ruda is a perennial, and like I said, it is ruled by the planet Mars and by the sun. So it is a plant of masculine energy, protection. It wards off the evil eye. It removes hexes. It breaks curses. So we use it in floor washes. We use it in baths. We place it in front of the entrance of the doorway. And it is said that if a woman is pregnant, they should not handle La Ruda. This is Sancista Brujo Luis. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like, please subscribe, and please leave a comment down below. La Ruda.